everyone. My name is Lauren McGaw. I'm going to be talking to you guys today about Reyna Silver. We're a junior exploration company, like a lot of the ones that are here today. Our focus is on high-grade district-scale exploration. The philosophy that drives both Reyna Silver and Reyna Gold is a focus on looking for something that has high margin. Big enough grade that you can make money at your worst market conditions, and when market goes to whatever price you can imagine for silver, you make that much more money. But it's also got to have a large enough scale that you can make it through multiple cycles in the market and really capitalize on what you have. Forward-looking statements, of course, because this is a junior mining company. So to do that, you have to have the assets that have the capability of getting big and having the grade. And a lot of times you'll hear companies talking about, we need the team that has this. And part of that comes from not only the execution on the exploration, but it also comes from the idea that a team with experience, a serially successful team, is also good at picking projects. And at Reyna Silver, we have my father, who's Dr. Peter McGaw, co-founder of Mag Silver. He's the chief technical advisor. The geologists who are in the fields are part of that same team that made the major discoveries with Mag Silver as well. We've got, because of the team, we have strong support. So our CEO, Jorge Ramiro Mandroy, he's been great at getting us a curated investor portfolio so that we have the support that we need so that we can go out and we can drill and we can add, because junior companies, it is a discovery-driven value. So for us, we have the 4 key elements that we see moving forward. And that's all backed up with the fact that we have 3 significant assets. We have Gigi, which is at the heart of the Santa Eulalia district, which is one of the world's largest carbonate replacement deposits. And this thing is sitting at the heart of it. What we know about the Santa Eulalia district from 40 years of study there at Santa Eulalia is that this is a district that produced 500 million ounces of silver, but just from the distal portion of the system. And our question is, where is the source? Where's the proximal mineralization? And is there more? At Batopilas, we have Mexico's highest grade silver district. It was a native silver district. And there we're saying, okay, we know that there was absolutely ridiculous ore shoots. How much bigger does this thing get? And one of the things we'll get into in a little bit is we went into an area that was underexplored and we found gold. So we've got those 2 projects, and if that wasn't enough, we also have a 3rd project in Nevada, and that's called Medicine Springs. It's a carbonate replacement deposit target. And unlike Gigi, where we know 500 million ounces of silver has already been taken out of the ground, at Medicine Springs, we think we actually have the full CRD continuum. And we've done work there. We're looking forward to drilling at the end of the summer, beginning of the fall, and see if we're right about that one. So we've got 100 million shares outstanding. We've got really strong support from institutions, in part because of the success of our team historically. And with that, that gives us the money to move forward so we can keep that war chest full and get the drilling done. Here's a little bit about our technical advisors. Both Doug Kerwin and my father have been serially successful. These are the guys who are boots on the ground, who are making the moves that allow us to do what we do well. And just to get into it, because I love these projects, this is Batopilas. This is the native silver district. That is 1 month's production in 1906. This is a standard month. That's 325,000 ounces of silver. The average grade was 1,500 grams of silver per ton. They would chase these Brillo pads of silver, little skinny veins that would balloon out into these 3 to 5 meters across, 30 to 80 meters on strike. And the Spanish chased it from surface down. And then in about the 1850s, they got smart. They drove in a tunnel at river level, expecting to come in underneath these things, at which point they also realized they kept going. So they built the 2nd ever hydroelectric dam in Mexico. They pumped out the water. They kept chasing it until the revolutionaries said, hey, here's a great way to really mess up their bottom line. And they ended up blowing it up, flooded the mine. The claims all dispersed. My dad pulled them all together over the course of 20 years, and now we can go back and we can explore this thing on a district scale. So what we did is we said, okay, this lower section where you see that purple line, that's the historic district. We know there's high-grade native silver. How much bigger does this system get? So we projected the features up into the northeast. We did a trenching program that came back with 305 grams to 42 kilos silver, and for the first time ever, we found gold. We followed that up with additional drilling, and not only have we found high-grade silver in the Cobriza zone, but we've also now developed a gold zone. And we're not talking about like, oh, we have a gold zone. We have a gold zone. We're showing sections where we get 36 grams per ton gold. We have an area where within one of these parallel veins that we have up in the northeast, where we have just over 3.5 meters of 8 grams per ton gold. So one of the reasons that this gets us so excited is not just, okay, we've got gold, that's cool. But the other aspect is that it's a different style of mineralization. We're probably looking at least 2 different mineralizing centers, and they overlap in the middle. They're taking advantage of the same structures. They're not in the same place in the structures, but it gives us the opportunity to potentially leverage that gold mineralization and that silver mineralization against one another to find more of the other. So that's where we're at with Batopilas. And then we have 2 carbonate replacement deposits. One of which is Gigi. This is that heart of the Eulalia district, which produced 500 million ounces of silver historically. Absolutely ridiculous. We know that from the research that's been done, that it comes from this distal portion of the system. You can think of carbonate replacement deposits. I could get all a geologist on you and use big fancy words because I want you to think I'm not just like out there looking rocks. But what we know from studying these is if you think of them as like a bus terminal, right? So you've got your source mineralization that's kind of like the bus terminal. You have different routes out, and different elements are getting off the bus at different spots. And studying these allows us to identify when we intersect a specific piece of mineralization, we can say, where the coppers hang out, or where the silvers hang out, or where the leads hang out. And this allows us to explore blind targets of CRDs. What it also tells us is that the Eulalia district was all from the distal portion of the system. Our question is, where's the proximal part? So what we've done is we've drilled out here. We've found skarn mineralization that has never been seen before, and an intrusive wheat that's never been seen before. We're district scale explorers. We said, that's great. How big is it? And what direction do we need to go? So we went 650, 700 meters, and over 1,000 meters out. And all 4 of those holes came back still in mineralization, so we've got a footprint of over 50 hectares. And the other aspect that's becoming interesting here is not only do we have that, but we have these upper level features, which we call feeder bleeder structures. And these are what are historically used in CRDs to vector back and trace into those big sulfide ore bodies that make something like the Eulalia district so famous. So moving forward with our 8,000 meter drilling program, we get to go not only after the continuation of finding the source mineralization at proximal big voluminous zone, but we also get to go after some of these feeder bleeder structures in those higher level systems as well. So here's some of the numbers. There on the side. That's from the skarn zone. That runs 523 grams per ton silver. So we feel that we're getting closer to where we want to go, and we're excited about where we're going from there. The third project that we have is Medicine Springs. This is in Nevada. There we think we have a full carbonate replacement deposit system. So one of the things that we've done over the last, that my father's done over the last 40 years is he's developed a checklist. And this checklist is from, the checks are not on the checklist, but this checklist has been developed based off of studying historic districts and districts of significance and exploration targets to define 13 features that are key for something to show that it's got the chance to get big and high grade. We have not put a single drill hole in yet at Medicine Springs, and yet we get 10 out of the 13 most critical checked off right off the bat. And that's in part because we have these jasperoid features that rip through the property. We see multiple stages of mineralization. And then when we test them, what we end up getting is we get beautiful zoning. There's a copper zone, a lead zinc silver zone, or a lead zinc zone and a silver zone. And those tend to run, we're in the exhaust features and we're getting 400 to over 1,000 grams per ton silver. And I'm really looking forward to this summer's 5,000 to 7,000 meter drilling program there. And I'm going to actually turn it over to Reyna Silver's CEO, who's covering for Reyna Gold's CEO, who can't be here today, to talk to you about the gold program that we have as well. But if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, jokes about Reyna Silver, I'm happy to talk with you all.